It's draft week. Let's talk about it. What is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful Monday. Happy draft week to all those who celebrate. This fun time of the year, right? I mean, it kind of coincides with like that official feeling of, the start to spring and the start to springtime. Obviously today players are back for team workouts, so it really does feel like football is back in full swing again, even though after the draft and whatever, it does take a little bit of a lull, but it's always a fun week. I mean, obviously not as exciting as in years past with, especially with all the quarterback speculation, eventually getting your quarterback, but at the same time, there's a ton of really good players in this draft that fit needs for now, but also needs for depth for the future. Yeah, man, I'm just super pumped to get to this draft. I know it's only Monday. We have a few more days to wait, but it's always a really, really fun time of the year.
Yeah, dude, it's the best. I was just talking to my wife about like the best days of the year. And I was like, my favorite days. And it's like Halloween. I love Halloween, but I was like,
birthday.
I think 420, 420, draft day, like great day or great days, Christmas, obviously. But I was like, I don't know, man. Like these days, as you get older, like draft day might be like the most fun day. And like you mentioned, like, we're not chasing the quarterback this year. We don't have 2 first-round picks. We don't have an early pick, all those different type of things. But what's special about this year is that we can truly go for best player. Like no matter who we pick, it just feels like extra for this team. And that's what's exciting about this one. It doesn't really matter how it rolls out. Like we're all comfortable to trade down, or most of us are comfortable trading down. A lot of times we don't even want to trade down. We just want to go get who we think's the best. And this is a year where it's like, as many players as we can get, they're all bonus anyways. So that's a big reason I'm super excited about this one. And I don't know, maybe there's going to be less stress throughout this one. It'll be interesting to see who we ultimately pick. Last year's was pretty stressful as far as seeing quarterbacks going off the board. Obviously ends up being a great draft for us. We get Dallas Turner and JJ McCarthy. So it was pretty good as far as all that goes. But let's do some shout outs here because we got some of our people in the building. We had Skol Mafia, my dude, right away here. Just another heads up. We're cooking on the Skol Fest big time. We get meeting like almost every week now. But we got a website cooking. Our boy Adam's got the website cooking. We got Skol Mafia helping out with Twitter. Our guy Gary coming in for some moral support so far and bringing the energy to Skol Fest, but it's been absolutely great, and I think we're gonna easily crush our past couple years Skol Fests, and I can't wait to tell everybody more information as we get closer to the schedule release and all that good stuff. But anyways, back to the draft and everything here. We got Bob Swede in the building. What's going on, my dude? FT Matty, Skol brother Skol. Speaking of Gary, sup Skol mates, happy draft week. Let's go. Bleeding Purple, my dude. Let's get it. Who else we got in here? Skol Mafia, I see you. Nick Riley, what's up, chat? What's going on, Nick? I think, and by the way, right before we popped on, we made we'll wait to show you guys, but we made a mock draft video that we're going to post tomorrow. And I'm pretty sure we just had the greatest mock draft anybody's ever had. So I'm talking to you, Gary, and I don't remember who your partner was, Gary, but I think if we would have entered the competition with this Raps competition with this one, I think we would have took the whole thing. Oh yeah. That's absolutely how good this mock draft is.
Yep.
No question. What's going on, Jen?
Hey, Jen.
Welcome in. Favorite team year. Oh yeah, draft's the best.
Darren, it's been a minute.
Darren, what up, GG? Wang is back, dude. Hey, right at the right time. What's going on, Dalton? My dudes. You too, man. I need to make it out to Minnesota. Yeah, you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you do. Every year. It's going to be, we're taking it to another level every year. Like I don't know where it's going to go, but I think there's not even a question in my mind that this year is for sure going to be It was me, Jamie. I'm disappointed in you. It was it was you and Gary Skull Mafia. Is that what you're saying? That's what I
Yes.
actually thought it was. I thought it was Gary and
Sure,
you, but then I
sure.
was like,
Yeah. Sure you did.
I knew it was
Not
Skull
good. I
Mafia
knew
the
it.
whole
I
time.
knew it. I just
It
didn't
did
say it.
pop. It did pop in my head, but I'm like, I don't think it was. I don't think it was Skull Mafia. I should have just said it. I should have went with my gut. Hey, what up, the Black Al Bundy? It's draft week. Let's go. What up, Dan? Just me, bro. You will love it. Yeah. I don't know. So yeah, Skull Mafia and Gary, my guys. But I'm telling you, I'll show you what happened. Maybe we can do it again on a mock later. I doubt it because it was that good. But we'll show you what's up. We'll show you what's up.
Yeah.
Anyways, obviously, we've talked about it. Draft weeks or draft day is right around the corner here. So we'll get into that, just given our best case scenarios, run some mock drafts. We don't got much time left before we can go do all of that. Black Al Bundy, I see you. The
Yeah.
Wolves coming in. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Nick. I'm sorry, Nick.
I'm not.
But the Wolves
I'm
Wolves
not.
are different. Anthony Edwards is different. What was I gonna say? But one heads up here. So we're not going live for our show this Thursday or during the draft, but we are going to I think we're going to hop on at 6:00 like normal. We'll do a hype show before the draft starts, and then at some point we're going to hop on with Vocal Vike, aka RAP, on his channel for a little bit when he goes live for his show. So we'll still be live for a little bit. It'll just be on Rap's channel instead of ours. So definitely tap into Rap, and if you don't follow him or subscribe to him yet, you definitely should go over there. I'm assuming a lot of you all are, but we'll probably be tapping in over there with him for a little bit. So let's go. Knew it was coming. We're taking game 2.
My guess is Lakers win game 2. Wolves win both in Minnesota, and they split the next 2. Wolves take it in 6 at home.
Wolves is 5
crowd.
is ridiculous. I mean, hey,
I said 6.
I say 4. Wolves in 4. Just the way we started off last year against people had Suns in 4 and we went in 4. It's the same energy. All right. So like we talked about the draft, all that good stuff. Again, more good stuff. Another show, another card giveaway. The draft picks from last year. You got to get the hashtag Skols in the comments, like the video, and subscribe for your chance to win a Dallas Carter. We got Dallas Carter, Will Riker, JJ McCarthy. Huh?
You said Dallas Carter. It's Dallas Turner.
Dallas Carter. Do we know Dallas Carter? No. Dallas Turner, Will Riker, JJ McCarthy. Get the hashtag Skols in the comments. That's all I'm saying. What's going on, Steve? With a green helmet. Anyways, so draft stuff, we'll get into it, but I guess some sort of news that needs to be talked about, and that is the one, the only future greatest quarterback who ever lived, JJ McCarthy. No, not putting expectations too high or anything like that. But it does sound, obviously we had Kevin O'Connell, Harrison Smith, Byron Murphy, and Aaron Jones had their press conferences today, with Kevin O'Connell saying that JJ McCarthy, pretty much saying that he didn't use the word 100%, but pretty much said JJ McCarthy is 100% ready to go and with no limitations, and he is great and in good shape. All those good things. Music to all of our ears. Nobody's worrying about him being ready for not just the season, but even training camp. It looks like he'll be good just for when right around mini camps and things like that. So that's hyped there. Also, we got news about Christian Darrisaw. It sounds like he's ahead schedule and he's doing great as well. So just some really good stuff all around. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to any of those videos or anything like that.
I listened
but what's your thoughts on this whole
Jones.
situation?
Yep, listen to all of them but Aaron Jones. And just kind of what we expected. I mean, they had been saying that McCarthy was going to be all good to go. I didn't think any of it was fake. I mean, if he's not ready to go, there's no reason to come out and say that he is. So, I mean, it's all stuff that we kind of knew. It's good. I think they showed a clip of him in the building, walking through the halls and stuff. So it's just, it's good to see that. I mean, it's good to have the players kind of back in it. And I mean, if you wanted to know what really goes on behind the closed doors at the facility, just listen to what Harrison Smith had to say about JJ McCarthy first off, and just the team and whatnot. So it really does sound like this team's in a great spot. I mean, there's no reason Harrison Smith comes back for year 14 if he doesn't think that there's a legitimate chance that this team can make some noise and try to potentially win it all. So it really does make you feel good. And just the fact that your quarterback is going to be full go for the workouts and getting into OTAs and whatnot, and he's going to have like basically no limits. You absolutely love to see it. Yeah,
What
McCoy Parrish
our
jersey. Yeah,
AP
here's draft week. Got to get a future Vikings draft pick. It'll be a few years, but yeah, got to
willing
get
it into
rolling.
existence. What's going on, dude? And then we already, Rap, we already mentioned that we're going to try to tap in with you for a little bit on your draft show. So again, anybody in here, if you're not subscribed to Vocal Vike, he's in here right now. Definitely go subscribe to his channel. Go check us out there for a bit on Thursday as well. Things are about to get crazy. But yeah, just more on the JJ McCarthy thing. It was cool to just see everything that Harrison Smith has said about him, and then that they've been able to hang out a while. And Harrison Smith, just again, like, you just gotta love Harrison Smith, man.
Yeah.
Every time, he's got to be one of the most. I mean, in my opinion, he's my favorite Vikings defender ever. And not just from, I mean, on and off the field. Like, he's just like the super humble guy. I liked how he's just trying to saying, like, he's not trying to spread wisdom. Like, he's just like, some wizard or something like that. Him just being humble and stuff like that. So.
And just like he doesn't act off the field like he plays on it, right? Like when he's on it, he's a hitter. He's the hit man. When he's off the field, he's just quiet. He kind of goes about his business, practices, just kind of keeps to himself a little bit. Like, you got to appreciate a guy like that. Just low key, doesn't get himself into trouble. And when he does play, as we've seen, is it biased to say we think he has a Hall of Fame resume? Maybe, but also at the same time, I don't necessarily think so. And the thing that's annoying though is I know Purple for the Win talks about it all the time. It's like the people that vote for the Hall of Fame are the same people that vote for the All Pro teams. And and again, you want to talk about how just kind of mellow and unflashy he is off the field. Unfortunately, I do think that has hurt him when it comes to making those All-Pro teams, because he has played well enough to be an All-Pro at many points of his career. So we'll see. But in the hearts of Vikings fans, no brainer Ring of Honor member as soon as he can once he retires. And it's unfortunate that he doesn't get more love nationally. He doesn't get the love nationally that he deserves. So
yeah. Yep. And that's just it's just his personality or whatever, but people know he's a stud. And then I like how they're just trying to get him to say 15 years. And that's it. Like, how do you, if you're at 14, it's like, how do you not just go for 15?
Make it even 15. Yeah.
Yeah. And even 15. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, but it's going to be a tough one to leave after this one, because I know me and you both kind of feel like the next, not this year, but the next couple years after is really that, like, when the window is as real as it gets. So
yeah, of course that may be his thought process too. Stick around for one more year, see the team into that window, and then step back and be like, all right, you guys go get the job done, But we'll see. We'll see what he is. And I think it all does depend on how this year goes. Like, if it's won't say shitty year. It kind of depends. If this year if we get really, really close, I can see him maybe going back for one more. But we've got to appreciate that we have him here for year 14. And let's just roll.
Let's go. JJ McCarthy, healthy and ready to go. That's as good, the best news that you want to hear right before the draft, and not concerned about that court. We should have known with all the rumors and everything that's going on, and us sticking with JJ McCarthy, that he's going to be ready. So that's just nice. Obviously, still have to figure out who the backup quarterback is, but I would not be surprised if we find that real soon after the draft is over. And as soon and find out what's going on with Asante Samuel and all that craziness as well. But anyways, talking about the draft, I guess we'll just kind of go in and just talk about this draft in general. Best case scenarios, Casey. What is, in your opinion, what is the best scenario for the Vikings that they could possibly get? Obviously, we can show you. We actually did it on a mock draft, which I'll bring it up in a second here. But I just want to know your general thoughts of, like, what do you want the Vikings to do? What do you want to see them do?
Man, that's a loaded question, because it's not just one. I don't think there's one right answer, right? Because it depends. It really does depend on the board and who's there. Like, if, again, as I think I've said it multiple times on here, that, like, I think trading back is probably the right move. Accumulate some more draft capital. We only have 4 picks, so I understand that. But if there's a prospect that they have graded in the top chunk of their board, that in their mind, they're like, I don't feel comfortable trading back because we might miss out on this player still being here, I would definitely understand that. But with this team, with the fact that we do have some money wrapped up in some big name players, yes, we got the rookie quarterback thing, which is great. But I do still think that you need to start. I do think you need to start drafting for depth for this year and next year, but starters for the next couple after that. So, and the only way to get the more depth and more potential is to accumulate more draft picks. So as much as I would love to see them, stick and pick and get their guy, if there's a guy there, I do think trading back is the smart move, because even if you do miss out on a player that could be in your top, 30 of your board, do you think but we could get a player later on that, yes, it's not this guy, but we can still get this player at our next pick while still gaining more picks later on, especially with this draft being as deep as it is at a couple, because to me, there's a couple defensive interior guys that I would be like, okay, if you took them at 24, I would get it. If a cornerback gets there or a safety, a Starks or Amendola get there and they love that too and they go with it, I would get that. But I do still think that to them, they're going to be like, well, yeah, but if we trade back, we can get a guy of that caliber or at least close to that caliber later on while still getting more draft capital. So it's going to be a tough one for them. I mean, I could see it. If he's sitting there and somehow a Kenneth Grant gets down there and someone's asking him to trade back, I mean, it'd be really, if they love him that much, it'd be really tough for them to be like, let's trade back and risk not getting him.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows? They could be like, well, Derek Harmon, we have him just below Kenneth Grant. And if we trade back and we still get Harmon, that's a win for us. So I don't know. I guess in my mind, the perfect scenario would be trading back, getting more picks, and still getting an impact defensive interior guy, plus adding on later in the draft as well.
FT Maddie with the 5, dude. We appreciate you, bro. Big time. A lot of talk of Kansas City trading with us in draft. I heard that too.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I guess what are your thoughts on that? Like, just in general, you're like, in general, what you would like to see them do.
And trading back with Kansas City, that'd be pretty good. And so I kind of gave some thoughts out. I was on, I think I told everybody last week that I was doing like the Bleacher Report draft thing, mock draft, content creator draft, whatever. And in that draft, I traded back to pick 33 and got pick 67, I think, as well as pick 166, something like that. A pretty good deal, in my opinion. We did a mock draft based around it on here and on Bleacher Report last week. And that's the main reason why, is because I do feel like best case scenario for us in this draft is to somehow get more picks so we can go get some more guys in this one. What's going on, Mike? Welcome in. Jamie gotta ask how JJ's doing. He's doing good. He's still sleeping pretty good at night. Been a little bit more fussier during the day and things like that, but I think you just got to start feeding him more things like that. I don't know. He's doing good, really good though. He's doing really good. He's still adorable. That hasn't changed yet, but yeah, very solid. But yeah, with the whole Bleacher Report mock draft, so I traded back. So I guess I'll just say how that rolled out, because obviously the cool thing about that draft compared to us doing PFF mock drafts or any other kind of mock drafts is you got to see these are content creators for these other fan bases, right? And it was interesting to see who they wanted the most, I guess, is what you could kind of say. And trading back from 24 to 33, the first pick of the second round, you're just kind of hoping someone drops to you there. And this is something that I kind of felt like if we were to do that, or if we would have traded the Kansas City or the Bills or something like that, it's like, is there a player that we like enough at 24, like way more than anyone else? And we've talked about it before that we like Kenneth Grant a lot, and that we like, obviously, if like a Will Johnson dropped or something like that, but we like Kenneth Grant a lot at 24. A lot of people would probably say Malachi Starks there as well, potentially. I mean, some people will go Barron and say a bunch of names like that. But we were kind of like, if Grant's there, it would be tough to move back, but I'd still get it because we like Harmon. And if you can get Harmon in the back there, we still like Barron. We still like Amendola, right? Amendola?
Yep.
We still like Amendola, Starks, Gray Zabel, and Trey Amos as well later there. So that's kind of where I'm sitting. Like, if we can move back, there's enough players that I like enough around positions that we like that I feel like we can take that chance. And as long as one of them are there for us to take, would be a good scenario. And that's kind of what happened in this draft, where Kenneth Grant actually got picked at 25. So he got picked one pick after me. And then we fell down to 33. Malachi Starks actually made it to pick 32. And that's who I would have pulled the trigger on if I was able to. The Eagles ended up swooping in, getting another B safety. Of course they did, who was an absolute steal at that point in the draft. And then the only two guys that we had left after that would have been going into day 2 was Gray Zabel and Trey Amos. And I would have went in there, and I'm not number one guy on going to get a guard. There's a lot of Viking fans that still are. But at that point, I'm going Gray Zabel all day, and I would have been super happy with that. If we traded Zach to 33 and we got a pick 7 in addition to that, I'd be more than happy to get Gray Zabel, and then you could go get a CJ West with that 67 pick or something like that. So basically what I'm saying is I still am team kind of trade back if possible. But if there's a guy at 24, don't screw yourself. I got a good enough deal, I felt like, in that draft. Don't screw yourself. I don't want to get like just fleeced in a trade to force anything. If there's a guy we like enough, go pull the trigger. Don't do what we did when we traded back with the Lions or anything like that.
And that's the thing. People talk about Kwesi. Oh, I mean, that's what he did the first year. He's a bad trader. He learned his second year, because he even said himself. He's like, there were teams that wanted to come up to our pick, but he said no, turned them all away, and just did the stick and pick and took Jordan Addison there. So like, he's learned to just like, if someone's there that you like enough, just sit and take your player instead of worrying about trading back to get more draft picks. So I think, and people don't want to give him the credit he deserves, I think he's learned enough to where if he's going to make a trade, it's going to have to be beneficial to him more than that one was his first year.
Jaden and a 6-week-old named Jalen have love my grandbabies. Dang. Yeah, no, it's all crazy. If they take hair, that's funny. So if they take Hairston, I'm throwing hands. Okay. Well, that's good. You'll like our draft. I don't know. Should we show them what our draft looks like?
I think
so. I would say this is the mock draft. We're gonna push out a video because we recorded it. Luckily it was the last mock draft video that we're making, and I think we hit an absolute home run on it. What's going on, Dylan? I don't see the show live enough nowadays. Yeah, damn straight you don't see the show live enough nowadays. That's what I've been saying. Here now, those greatest guys in Skol Nation. What's up, Dylan? Hey, appreciate you popping in, dude. So we've been hyping up this mock draft that we did right before hopping on, that we're recording and releasing tomorrow. That would be a scenario where I don't see it actually being a possible outcome for us, but now I believe it's the best case scenario for the Vikings in a mock draft. The best mock draft I've seen from anybody, in my opinion. Yeah. And I'm extremely biased, but I think this is one that I'm not being biased about at all. Not even a little bit. I'm not biased at all.
I mean, and trading back was tough when you see who the first pick was.
Yeah. Okay, we'll bring it up here. We'll bring it up.
I mean, trading back was hard to do when you know that like you might miss out on this guy, because I think we traded back with the Lions at pick 28. Yeah. And still got the guy that we wanted, who we would have just been perfectly fine picking at 24, but still were able to maneuver around and just pick up an extra pick and make our second pick a little better.
Yep, I'm going to bring it up. Let's see here. Oh, wait, no, I can, I'll just do entire screen. Screw it. All right, here it is. The greatest mock draft any of you have ever seen.
As you can see, traded back 4 spots, improved our second pick from 97 to 60, and picked up 130. And now you see why I said it was tough. I mean, Kenneth Grant was sitting there at 24. You don't see that happen often.
Sorry, I have to move this over here real quick.
And the fact that it did happen and Kenneth Grant was still sitting there, it was incredibly tough to trade back to pick 28. But the fact that we did it and he was still sitting there is absolutely wild and was great. I mean, that's what you dream of right there.
You traded with the Lions. Traded down twice. Traded down 2 spots. I mean, hey, I'm cool with trading with the Lions if we fleece them. I'm just not cool with trading with the Lions when we got fleeced like last time.
Yeah. And I don't know, and it's not necessarily a fleece, and that's the other thing that happened too. Like, they wanted to come up, and normally if a team is asking you to come up, you could probably try to get a little bit more out of them than we did. This time, I think, this trade, I feel like it's pretty even. I mean, they're getting up to pick 24. I don't remember who they took, but it was a guy that they wanted, obviously, because they were the ones that requested the trade. But yeah, I mean, dropping down 4 spots, getting Kenneth Grant, making another trade, as you can see, dropping back 3 spots and improving from 140 to 95. Then picking up Benjamin Morrison and Andrew Makuba with those 2 picks, who I love me some Andrew Makuba. I mean, I get it. Starks and Emin Warrior in a class of their own, but if you can find a way to get Makuba at pick 95, I would absolutely. I love me some Andrew Makuba, man. He's just a fun, hard-nosed, high-energy type player. Once Harrison Smith officially retires, I mean, that's your next guy right there.
Yeah. And like you said, and I see Nick in here, best draft. I'm telling you, I didn't even this is the best draft we did randomly doing our last one. Luckily we did it on a video. Obviously at the end of the day, it's just PFF mock draft, but still it's like at some point it's like playing a game, you know. You're trying to get your best draft. And this is the first time we got an A+, but yeah, if at pick 24, I already said it on here. If there's one player I'm comfortable picking multiple players, but if Kenneth Grant's there at 24 and the Vikings pull the trigger, to me it'd be like, yeah, do it 100%. So I've barely seen him make it to pick 24 in these mock drafts. So be able to trade back 4 picks and then you get Kenneth Grant, and then round 2 you get Benjamin Morrison, who I definitely think should be an early round 2 pick, and I would not be surprised if he is. Obviously coming off of an injury, but it was funny because we were picking between him and Harrison, 4.28 speed, fast, all those things. I like Benjamin Morrison more, but even Harrison, I mean, if you get him at the end of round 2, I'm definitely happy with that as well. But getting Benjamin Morrison and then grabbing our 95 pick or around our 90s picks, getting Makuba, getting Nick Riley's guy, Kyle Williams, and then we get Ty Robinson. All Viking fans kind of get Ty Robinson in every mock draft. We weren't going to mess with that. So I step 1, spend months and months on mock drafts. Yeah, this whole off season is becoming as good as you can get at mock drafts. That's it. That's all we do. Yeah. We need to become the best at mock drafts, you know? That's like the whole point. That's just the funnest part of the off season. Get out of here with that Harrison. But we passed Harrison. We went Benjamin Morrison instead of Harrison. I feel like the draft days comes around round 3. I'm fine sticking and picking at 24 and 97.
I mean, I wouldn't hate it, but also I understand if they want to get more draft picks.
It'd be nice. Yeah. It'd be nice. But yeah, so anyways, that is the draft that we were pumped up with. And by the way, with Donovan Jackson, because is a plug and play at left guard. Zabel will take seasoning. I mean, if that's the case, I haven't watched him.
Having to learn to play guard. I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, but so is Donovan Jackson. He's coming in as a tackle, correct? I think a lot of people peg him as more of a tackle.
I think they said, I thought I heard PFF has him listed as a tackle, but he's actually a guard. Maybe.
Is he actually a guard, or is he just kind of like Zabel where he's going to switch to guard?
To be honest, I don't 100% know if I'm being real.
Yeah, I don't know either. I know he can play guard, but I thought he was like still kind of looked at more of a tackle type of guy. The most important step watching them. Then the most important step watching them actual play. Yeah. Nah, we don't need none of that, T-Bass. Who cares about that part? It's all about the projection. That's where all the dopamine hits. It's before the actual thing happens. Everybody knows that.
Grading. I mean, come on. We're grading picks as they happen when they haven't even played yet. I mean, it's just the way the modern day NFL works.
Yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it.
The internet.
Welcome in, by the way, T-Bass. And Lone Wolf, welcome in. You really picked up your game for sure, bro. Wait, Barber.
You played both, but mainly.
Oh, what up, Skol for Life, Barber? Hey, I knew that. I saw Mafia post that on Twitter, and I was like, that's got to be for Barber, obviously, but I didn't know for sure. But I'm glad it is, because that's a dope logo. Who you want round 1, T-Bass? Play guard, tackle, and center. Yeah, I think I've not actually watched Donovan Jackson, so I can't really even say anything. But
because I
like Gray Zabel.
I just really, I mean, I would get it, but I'd rather not take a guard early.
I don't want to. If we moved back to the second round and we took a guard, Hey, if we move back into the second round, at that point, literally take best player available, I think.
Yeah.
But if not, if you stick in the first round, I don't want to go guard.
Yeah.
And
I
honestly, I
agree.
still want defensive interior.
Yep.
I'm warming up to Starks as safety
Yeah. Yeah.
more and more. And obviously, I would be cool with Barron, but you don't got the height as much height with Barron. Obviously, if Will Johnson's available, and Emin Wari, like he's another guy who like I'd rather grab him and I'd feel more comfortable grabbing him in round 2. But at the same time, I would be happy with that too if you got him at the end of the first round.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
So I think we're kind of on player in this draft. Yeah, I like Starks a lot. And the more I don't know, he seems like one of those guys. Like there's just those guys that are just football players. They're just ballers, and who cares about their 40 times? Who cares about all that kind of stuff? They're just ballers, great instincts, and I mean in his case also like amazing in coverage. Arguably, you could argue that he could be the best coverage secondary player in general, not just safety. So that's why like Starks, he seems like, but the most important thing is he has an all-pro name. Malachi Starks, like that goes into the Football Hall of Fame name. That doesn't go in, but Malachi Starks in the bust column just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Right.
And that's 100% fact. Um, anyways, again, I think we can all agree on that. Me and you can agree specifically that we think the best case would be if we were able to trade back and get a guy that we like. And I guess in our opinions, if we were able to get Kenneth Grant at 23, you pulled the trigger. I'm super, super fucking happy. But I think the other thing we would hope, I think what we're kind of hoping happens, and I know we're not alone here, and I would not be surprised if this is probably the majority vote for a lot of fans, is if you were able to trade back and get Harmon. If you're able to trade back and get Harmon in the end of the first round, I feel like that's probably, if I was to, I don't know on here, but if you would have posted on Twitter and voted that in, I would not be surprised if that would be like a lot of people's best case scenario.
Yeah. And I guess one thing that would have made that draft even better is instead of Williams, we would have taken if Brashard Smith would have been there at running back out of SMU. That would have been the one thing that would have tweaked it just to be a little bit better than it already was, because I love me some Brashard Smith, and he could basically be your Aaron Jones when Aaron Jones eventually done here. But
Morrison, yeah. Okay. Again, everybody, another show, another card giveaway. Get the hashtag Skols in the comments for your chance to win this at the end of the show. Like the video. How many likes do we got?
We have 21 people in and only 10 likes. Up those numbers. It's easy.
Get them likes in. We appreciate you. We appreciate it.
Wherever you're watching, it's super easy. You guys know what to do.
Yep, get them likes. All right, so let's change this around a little bit. What's your worst case scenario draft? Who don't you want? What's your worst case scenario in this one? What don't you absolutely fucking want to happen in this one?
I mean, for me, worst case scenario is like they do decide to trade back and all the players that they wanted are gone. And they end up just taking some guy like just because like they need to make a pick somewhere. And it's just, I mean, again, I don't think that's going to be the case. I mean, I could see them trading back. Let's say they trade back 4 spots. There's 3 players they like and they all get taken. I could see that happening. But I do think that, I mean, these guys are smart. They're going to have a contingency plan in place. Drafting under Lewis. And I guess, yeah, that too, like reaching, like over drafting for a guy that it's like, but I mean, again, we're no draft experts. We take a lot of our rankings off what we hear and what we kind of see on these mock drafts and stuff, which aren't necessarily true. But I do think that there would be some certain situations to where, yeah, it's like you take a guy and you're like, I feel like that's a guy you could have gotten later. We reached because it was more of a position of need. But I do think the way that Kwesi's played this offseason, I don't think we have to reach for positions of need because we are in a best player available scenario. So I guess, yeah, for me, it would just be trading back and all the names that they were hoping were there end up being gone, and they end up reaching just a little bit, and that could be kind of a Lewis scene type deal.
Yep. Yeah, I would say for me, obviously it'd be easy to say picking a Lewis scene. So I don't like, but this is without knowing that player. Yeah. You don't know that player is gonna suck. I would say for me, I think one thing would be like if Grant's there or like a Will Johnson there, even if a Stark's there. Like I'm warming up to being okay if Stark's there. You picked him at 11. I wouldn't be mad at all. I'd be like, oh, all right, let's roll with it, whatever. But if any of those guys are there, and then you did trade back, and then you did go and pick or trade back or sit at 24, especially if you moved up for a guy that, I don't know, if you moved up for a guy, you just know that you like them, but still that'd be sketchy in this draft. But if you were to move back or stay put, and then you did go get a guy like Revel, or you did go get a guy like Harrison, those cornerbacks, even Benjamin Morrison, Trey Amos, if you traded back and picked Trey Amos in a trade, I wouldn't want him at 24, but if you trade back and you picked him late first round, I'd be cool with that. But Harrison, Revel, I do not want to see that. I know Mike Sullivan mentioned Eminori, and I'm if we traded back in the first round and we picked him, I'd be completely cool with it. But I would also say I'm not confident that Eminori is that guy. He could be, but I feel like I'd be a little bit worried there.
You'd be Emin worried. Is what you're trying to say?
I'd be Emin worried if we did do that. If we traded, but I feel better about it if we traded back. If we traded back and got him at the end of the first, I'd be like, at least you got more picks. The worst thing is you go get Eminori, he ends up being a Lewisine, and you picked him at 24 or something like that. But he makes me a little bit nervous as far as like a lot of these guys, a lot of Vikings fans want.
Yeah. And I do feel like Eminori and Lewisine have a lot in common, where they're both kind of like the big hitter type guys, you know? So I can see like why some people would be afraid of getting another safety that's kind of like that.
Yeah, exactly. Is anyone concerned about Kwesi's draft day trades in general, forward or back? It doesn't seem like he's good either way.
I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, I think sometimes he doesn't value the picks as much. I mean, it feels like but then again, here's the thing. It feels like he gave up a lot to get Dallas Turner. But when you look, and again, I don't think we've seen the best of Dallas Turner yet. I do think this year is where he really he does take off. But at the time, when you're looking at a guy who people had projected to be a top 10 pick potentially, is what you gave up, if he ends up being a top 10 talent, is what you gave up not worth that? So like, I think it all depends on how you look at it. I mean, I don't hate the trade to get Dallas Turner because just what he was perceived to be. And again, it's not saying he's a bust or anything, because he could still potentially be that guy. And I think he's going to be good. So I guess you could look at it both ways, but I don't know. I'm not too concerned anymore. I mean, that first year was rough, but since then I do feel like he's gotten better. And I don't have any. I don't have an issue
Adam, my guy.
Hey, what's going on, Adam? I don't have an issue with trading up one spot to get McCarthy, and I really don't have an issue with that Dallas Turner trade, especially if that ends up working out.
Yeah, I think the thing that's been wrong with Kwesi lately, or not lately, but throughout his GM career with us or whatever, is he just is on the wrong side of these trades. Like, it's either he's obviously wanting to trade back so bad that he's willing to fleece himself, just like he did with the Lions. This is a situation I don't want to do here, or the opposite situation where he sees Dallas Turner or he sees JJ McCarthy. I don't blame him for going up and get his guys. I like that he went and thought those were his guys, and hopefully they are, and he made that happen. But it's like, there's those teams that are sitting there in later rounds waiting for that team to come in and want to trade back so they can get a fleece. Like, he's getting fleeced a lot, and he's not setting us up for any of the fleecing. So that's what's hard about, and that's what I'd rather have. Like, in this draft at 24, we have 4 picks. Everybody knows the Vikings have 4 picks and that they're going to try to do everything they want to trade back. With this draft, I'm like, with Kwesi, like, fuck it. Don't trade back. Don't get fleeced. Whatever you do in this draft, don't get fleeced. Stay at 24, make the pick there. Don't get fleeced, because if we get in a situation like with the Lions at pick 12 and move back where he just wants to move back no matter what. So he gives the other team a deal when these other teams are they're either waiting for someone who really wants to trade back, or they know somebody's wanting to trade back, I guess.
But also you got to look at it that these teams, if you're the Vikings, like, they're going to want to move up. Like, just because you want to trade back doesn't mean someone's going to come up into the first round and give up what that costs. Like, a lot of this is going to be Kwesi getting, let's say the Browns do want to come up for a Jackson Dart, right? If they make that call, then if you're Kwesi, you're sitting there, well, the Browns want to come up. I know what that's like. I've been in that situation. I was in those scenarios last year about having to think, what potentially do I have to do to move up to get to this certain spot? I think it's a different scenario here. Like I don't necessarily see it as teams like, oh, the Vikings want to trade back, so we got to talk to them. I think it's going to be a lot of people like, I want to get to their spot because there's a guy that I like there.
It just depends though, because we could, if there is a guy there, but with the Lions, it was the opposite, right? We forced a trade back. Yeah, so it's so I don't know if there's going to be teams looking out like, hey, we want to get the best deal to move up, because obviously you're going to have competition. The problem was in that draft, there was just nobody good enough. Which I would honestly say generally quarterbacks, there was no one around pick 12 that anybody was willing to pay a lot to move up for. And that's kind of what put us in a shitty situation, which could be the same as this year, unless people really like Dart so much. And you do see Cleveland or the Giants wanting to move up, and then we get a good deal. So that's just the difference between it. It was like at pick 12 is like you traded back because you felt like you needed to in a draft where there wasn't really much value, trade up like a player worth trading up for, and then you passed on what's his face? I don't know why I forget his name.
Hamilton.
Hamilton. Yeah.
But, I mean,
so that's what I'm saying. And right now I'm like, there's a lot of teams that like, ooh, the Vikings could be a good spot to move up, but hopefully there's enough competition there that we don't let it happen. I don't want to get fleeced. He's been on the wrong end.
But he also, he talked about that, last offseason and kind of saying like, I was trying to fix, we had an aging roster and an expensive roster. I was trying to fix all that in one swing. So I think he learned his lesson from that, to where it's like, and that's a big reason why he took that trade. Like I was trying to do all these different things and get more draft capital and make more moves. I was trying to like fix this roster in one swing, and it just didn't work out. So I think he learned enough from that to where I think he's got a better feel for value and a better feel for all this type of stuff. And I think that's another thing too. Like when we moved up to get Dallas Turner, that was us being the aggressors. So if you're going to be the aggressor, like, hey, we want to come up to your spot because there's a player we want, then the team that's asking can be like, okay, well now you're going to get a little more value because that team is coming to you because they want a guy. So then you can, like, if you're the Vikings last year with that trade,
Lone Wolf.
You
just don't get fleeced. Pick out your spot or don't
get
that
other team that's going to ask for a little bit more than it would actually cost to get there because that team is approaching you. So
yeah.
It's all interesting stuff, and it's what goes.
That's how it should go. That's how it should go.
Right.
But it was just Kwesi so far has not had the leverage, pretty much, whether that's his fault or not or whatever. It just he hasn't had the leverage on the trade backs. Yeah. We haven't been good in positions. And then I would say last year with Turner, even though I think Turner's going to turn into a beast, whatever, but it was a situation where the Vikings really wanted to move up and he was willing to give a little extra to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
This is a year I'm like, don't get fleet. I want to win the trade back or at least make it even or stick and pick or whatever.
Like if you're not going to take your guy there, you got to get value. Like you need to be the one that says, here's my final offer. If you don't like it, we like this guy, we're just going to take it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I honestly will say I fully trust Kwesi to make that right decision this year.
Yep.
In my mind.
And Mike, by the way, receivers. Hey boys, what about a receiver if he falls?
Give me
I don't want a receiver at all. Some people in here aren't as big fan of what's his face, the Arizona guy. Yeah, I like him a lot. I don't watch tons of football, college football, but he's someone I actually went back and watched during the season because he was just destroying for like a 3-game stretch or whatever. And I like him a lot. If he lasted to 24, and I do not think it's going to happen, and I would be surprised to even see Golden last there. And I do not. I'm sorry, Nick Riley, but I do not want Burden or whatever his name is. I just don't think he's the type of receiver we want. If we did go that direction, it'd be like, I don't know, there'd be a little bit of excitement, like, oh damn, we're trying to make this offense insane, right? I don't think it's the best pick, but I wouldn't be mad if we went out and got one of those guys and you're just like, this offense is going to be absolutely like dominant. It would be exciting still. So I don't know. I'll leave a little leeway to exciting.
Ibuka's interesting too, for sure. Burden, whatever. I agree with you. Burden to me is just a glorified gadget guy.
I pass on both because both those guys are like Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson, except for, in my opinion, not as good. In my opinion, I don't think they're the same level. What you want, the gadget after the catch guy, is what you want. which we don't really have that.
As a first round pick, though.
But I want to make sure he's not just a gadget. I want to make sure he's a gadget after the catch, 15 yards down, not just behind the line of scrimmage, which we don't really have. But once I forget his name every single time because I want to say Michael Floyd every single time.
Rondell Moore.
Yeah, Rondell Moore. I want to say Michael Floyd every time.
The Cardinals,
I know. Rondell Moore. I think Rondell Moore is the same thing. No, not even close. Yeah, I think they are. Burden is. Right, what? As far as I don't know, Rondell Moore was kind of like that too in college. I would like when we watched that and it was just highlights. So this is very fair. It's highlights, but I don't want an undersized wide receiver that's more of a gadget guy and who's good with route runs or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a big Burden. Not for the Vikings. I'm not a big even Ibuka. Like I like them. But like you're talking about a guy who's like a route running specialist type of guy. I'm like, that's what Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson is.
I mean,
I want someone who's big.
Receiver, I want like a blazer.
A blazer or someone who's bigger.
Yeah.
In my opinion, remember Addison will miss at least 3 games, and also we're not going to pay 2 receivers big money. People keep saying that, but I don't believe. You might be right, but depending on how well Addison does, like if it's insane, I don't think we pay Chase and Higgins, but I don't think it's completely out of the question either. I don't know. There's too many crazy moves that have happened in the NFL to say that can't happen at all. Which you might be right, but I think Addison's so good. I think Addison gives us the best chance to win in this window. We're not going to have JJ McCarthy on a rookie contract for a long time. And I know people talked about trading Addison. It's like, yeah, you want to trade him right now. So we have a hole at wide receiver 2 instead of having a good wide receiver 2 during the most important stretch, in my opinion, right now.
Yeah. I would rather take it. I mean, if you're going to take a chance on a guy at some point in this draft, I get that. But I would rather have that answer first, have him prove to you that he could be your wide receiver 2. And then start thinking of well, hey, we definitely could trade Jordan Addison now, and then we wouldn't have to pay him. But we still have our guy that could step into his shoes. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't be thinking about doing that today, and then having to then replace him. It's different. It's different than the Stephon Diggs scenario, obviously.
No, we got lucky. Well, first off, we just got lucky with Justin Jefferson. There's not wide receivers that are coming in here and playing great every single time or every single year. Yeah, we've been spoiled lately with last year specifically, but was one of the arguably the best wide receiver class that we've ever seen last year. And even Marvin Harrison Jr. didn't really reach the hype, but obviously Brian Thomas and Giants?
Neighbors. Yep.
Neighbors. And Neighbors, they showed up big time. So I don't know. I'm not confident. I don't think all these wide receivers are going to come in and be great. But you never know. But I think Addison is still better than what most people think. So,
for sure.
But I don't think that's why you trade him now, because then we're just looking for a wide receiver too.
Right. Yeah. Then you have to use one of. I mean, I get you get a couple picks for him, but then you'd have to use one of those picks on another wide receiver and hope.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Trade him for a first round pick and then pick Ibuka? Fuck no. That's what people want. You want it? Oh, I would trade Jordan Addison for a first round pick. I'm gonna use that on Ibuka because you think that eventually that he's going because of the contract, and you're going to have to pay Jordan Addison in 2 to 3 years. And then instead of having Mbuka, who you don't even know if he's going to be nearly as good as Jordan Addison is in the NFL. I think Jordan Addison is better than what people think.
Yeah,
I definitely think he is. So I don't know. I'm not on that. I'm just not on that.
I would agree. Yep.
I'm not on the get rid of and getting a.
I could.
We're
see
fucked if we get rid of wide receiver too. We're looking like Dallas Cowboys with CeeDee Lamb doing that shit.
I could see trading him next year either if things go really, really well and he has good value and you think you could get another receiver to replace him, or whatever happens. I guess if something happens this offseason, then he won't be a hot commodity. But I could definitely see him being traded.
Watch him.
I could see the conversation next year potentially, but this year absolutely not.
Yeah, I think it's way too early. I don't see why everyone's in such a rush. There's a lot of players on this team that are going to have to get paid.
I do think there are some people pay him before he has another issue this offseason, which I don't think that's going to be.
That whole thing's fair, but facts.
I think he's going to be fine.
It's fair, but I think he's fine. There's players in the NFL have done a million times worse things than him and are still playing in everything. So and other wide receivers specifically.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about that. I mean, literally, even freaking look what happened with Worthy even this offseason. Like,
Yeah.
we're all worried about a speeding ticket and a DUI when there's people choking people and shit like that.
Hey,
I'm not worried that much about Jordan
quit it.
Addison's character. But if he fucks up again, then yeah. But I'm not that worried about it.
Yeah.
I'm keeping Addy. Unless it was like a great trade. But Addy for a first round pick, that doesn't make any sense to me.
No, and like you said, the Diggs Justin Jefferson thing was lucky because that was one of the better receiving classes.
This could be fair.
Like, that is one of the better receiver classes we've seen in a long time. Diggs didn't want to be here. You had to make that move, right?
And then you got lucky as hell getting Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, but that was a really talented receiver class. So you knew you were going to get somebody at the very least to play receiver at that.
And honestly, you could have failed. You could have. I mean, outside of CeeDee Lamb, if you either had to get CeeDee Lamb or Justin Jefferson in that draft, otherwise you would have gotten a bust because Henry Ruggs. Right, Ruggs was that draft, right? Obviously, maybe Henry Ruggs if he didn't get in trouble, but Henry Ruggs,
Jerry Jeudy was supposed to be the top receiver in that class. Look how that turned out.
Yeah, Jalen Reagor.
Yeah.
Who got picked after Justin Jefferson?
Yeah, who was that?
Yeah, and I don't mind that. Like, if we did pick a wide receiver, or let's say we did go after Loveland or something like that, like, I don't think it's the best choice for us, but at the same time, I'd be hyped of the idea that JJ McCarthy is going to have, like, even getting that's how I feel about a guard too. Like, I think I'd rather see defense, but if we went and got a guard and you're like, oh my God, now this offense is just insane. Like, I like that. I do like that idea, but I'm keeping things open. No, I'm completely open. I don't want to be disappointed at this draft, so I'm just going to open up to being okay with everything.
Yeah.
Besides,
but here's the thing: they put themselves in the position where that's the case, right? To where there's not one thing you have to go do, which is huge.
Yeah. So it should be interesting. But I'll go check him out. I thought maybe I didn't see Thomas. Oh, didn't I though? I went through like a bunch of cornerbacks. I'll give them all there. Anyways. So draft case scenarios. We'll run a mock real quick. Again, everybody in here. This Thursday, we are going to pop back on and do a draft hype video. Hold on a second. We're going to do a draft hype video at 6 Central before the draft. We are not going live during the draft, but we are going to pop in with Vocal Vike on his channel for a bit, I think. So definitely tap in with us there. And yeah, I mean, hopefully we get a really good pick.
Sure.
So how should we do this? Should we just roll with this one as just normal? Like, just however we're feeling?
I say get to 24 because we're not and trading up. Yeah. Get to 24 and make the decision from there. Let's just let it run, see what happens. See if any names last longer than we're expecting. Will Johnson, okay. Matthew Golden. Yeah, at this point, F it. Wade and Kenneth Grant. That's sad.
Trying to see what the chat thinks too.
Okay. Nolan Burden.
What are you looking for the trade back? So this is a situation where I'm definitely trying to trade back.
A lot of guys here I like too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Lions at 28. We already kind of played that scenario out. 28, 33, 35, 37, 30. Yeah. I mean, I don't
could play on my 33 scenario.
With Cleveland?
Yeah.
You want to do that even farther?
Let's do it. Let's do the same exact trade why not? Let's do the same exact trade. So 33, 67, and 179.
179 for 24.
And just 24.
Okay.
I thought they had a different pick. Did they change one of their picks?
I don't know. But anyway, so they get that. 66. They came up for Jalen Walker.
Which a lot of people really like. Come on.
Darius Alexander, Wayne Colson Loveland.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still Derek Harmon.
Yeah. You got Derek Harmon, Gray Zabel, and Trey Amos. Those are the 3 players that I would consider at this pick.
I don't want to go back to 48. That's no fun. It's too far.
But I mean, I think in your opinion, we've already talked about it. One of the best case scenarios would be able to trade back and still get Harmon.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I mean, and
that's what I would
I don't
love
really
to do.
take. And I mean, I guess okay. Here's the other guy that so he's listed as a tackle. I think. Yeah, I mean, was for day one starter. Yeah, so he came in as an interior, played tackle. Like this is a guy a lot of people are talking about 6'4", 320. You do like the size,
Mhm.
solid in both facets. But I don't know. I'm looking for more impact on that defense. I mean, you added in free agency, but they're kind of old. I don't. I mean, you hope that a Taki Taimani or a Jalen Redmond can kind of be your run stuffing guy in the middle. We still don't have like that young guy that can get after it in the pass game. So yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I think we're in agreement here. We go Derek Harmon.
Yeah, not even a question. If
Yeah.
this, I was
Yep.
hoping this is the scenario that I would have landed on the Bleacher
Right.
Report thing.
So I guess now you just kind of see what happens.
Nick Emanwari was out there as well at that
I
point.
saw that, yeah.
So at 67,
should still have some players we like who are available. Ooh,
Benjamin
Jackson Dart to the Giants.
Morrison.
All right.
Where's that Thomas at? Where's Thomas? Put his name in here.
He was a corner, right?
Yep. Just probably put just Thomas, or it's AZA.
I didn't even know
You wanna
Justin
do a-
Waller was going to the draft.
If you want to do I would just do a player search,
Oops.
unless he got picked already.
He might have. What was his first name?
Must have. Azari.
Yeah.
Here, move up to see where he got picked at. Keep moving up.
Right here.
There he is. Okay. So this is the situation we were in, Nick, is that when we did that other draft, Thomas wasn't even available at that point for us. Yeah. So when we got in this situation, we picked Benjamin Morrison. We were in a situation where we couldn't even go and grab him anyways. So, and I'm still in that same boat. I still think Benjamin Morrison would be the pick I would choose here.
Yeah, I like it. Let's rock with it. I mean, then are we just going to basically play this out the same if a little faster, I guess, if Makuba's there again?
CJ West is gone. RJ Harvey, my boy.
I mean,
yeah, and especially with Tate gone as well, Tate Radledge.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I'm picking Makuba all day here.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is going like we're getting another good one here.
Yeah.
Now you got pick 139. And we didn't have a pick one. Oh, we did have one last time. Ooh, yep.
All right.
Richard Smith.
Not even thinking anymore. Just instincts. C player, pick player. That's it.
This is what happened when you do a lot of mock drafts.
Another thing we got to talk about after is a potential for our backup quarterback situation.
You want to draft a guy?
Those rumors swirling earlier today.
You're talking about with the trade rumors?
With Kirk Cousins?
Oh, yeah. We can talk about that. I guess, yeah. Let's we'll finish this real quick and we'll end on that.
Justin Wall. I mean, Justin Wally's not. I mean, I don't know. It is. I love me some Justin Wally, but
I mean, I'll take it. Ty Robinson.
I mean, that's. Yeah.
I would want him. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Fuck it. And now we can. If you want that other corner here, screw it.
Quinn, what the fuck?
Quinn Ewers.
I mean.
Next guy. Next guy, Quinn Ewers.
Oh, that's crazy. That is crazy, man. That's wild. Max Brosmer.
He would have been a first round pick potentially if he would have came out last year, which is the crazy part. We could go guard Max Bros. Oh, that's a quarterback.
Yeah,
Max Brosmer.
It's my boy. Give him
I would not mind if we actually did pick him.
Should we
later in the draft?
Just for funsies?
I mean, maybe we try to do that trade up in 7th again.
Or do we try to trade back? 190? What we get?
What's the other pick?
193 from the Bengals.
Try that. Oh, we don't even have any other.
They don't have any other picks. So get 190, get 202. Oh, really? I suppose, yeah. Yeah.
They got to give us at least one pick.
Yeah. How would they
sense.
what would they be like? What?
Go to 202.
Yeah, with
Yeah, click
2027
202, and
seventh
then
rounder. No?
yeah. I'll give them a next year's.
I guess.
Well, then take away our 187. All right. We're just gonna have three late trades.
Whatever.
No, just pick them. Just pick them.
We'll go quarterback, backup quarterback of the future. Bring it on, Mr. Max Brosmer.
You know they're gonna. I'd rather have Kyle McCord.
Nah.
Yeah, it's chill, Steve.
Nah. Love me some Max Brosmer. They're probably gonna give us the F for the Brosmer pick, but I don't even care. Don't even care.
Can't give Fs.
Only a D minus. See, look at that. They love them.
That's a pretty. That's pretty much close to our last round.
Good draft.
That would be
damn good draft.
I'd be so happy if this happened.
Yeah, I mean, 2 defensive interior guys, corner, safety, and your future Aaron Jones of this offense to play alongside Jordan Mason.
Yep. A plus.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. I mean, it's not okay. Look, the Kirk Cousins things are. It's not like. It's nothing insane. It's literally just that the Falcons, if they are gonna trade him, they want a team,
someone to take 20 million,
which means they'll probably negotiate that down, which is a starting point. So that's the question: is if let's say you traded a 5th and you got back a 4th and Kirk Cousins, and you take on 10 million of his salary cap with the caveat that he is your backup quarterback.
I would do
he comes in knowing he is not competing for a starting job. He is coming here to back up JJ McCarthy.
Let's just talk about that.
You take on 10 million, you upgrade a draft pick, and you have a backup quarterback.
Again, everybody, we're about to do the giveaway. Your choice of a card. So get those hashtag Skols in the comments, like the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. Just talking about that whole situation. Obviously, quarterback in general. There's been the rumors of Aiden O'Connell. Sam Howell trade potentially, which honestly, either of them, if there wasn't much we had to give up, I'd be like, fuck it, why not? But talking about Kirk Cousins, like, let's just forget about trading for him, forget about taking on salary cap, forget about all of that stuff. If Kirk Cousins came to the Vikings 100% comfortable knowing he's going to be the backup quarterback to JJ McCarthy, how would you feel about that?
See, if he came in knowing that, and I mean, and Skol Mafia, you're not necessarily. Hey, what's going on, man? Thanks for hopping in. You're not trading a pick for him. You're swapping picks, which means you're upgrading. But anyway,
What up, Norris?
I wouldn't. I mean, it would be good to have like just that solid backup quarterback who's been in the league. That is the one problem with this jersey, with the color I got. If you see it from far away, it doesn't look like an Iowa. You got to see close enough to see the maroon on the outside. It's tough. But like, I understand it because you have yourself a veteran quarterback who would be your backup, who played a lot of games, all that type of stuff. But also, you know that there's going to be that section of the fan base that if McCarthy comes out and struggles, there's going to be that section of the fan base and the media that's going to be spilling the rumors of, should they think about starting Kirk Cousins? I don't want to have to deal with any of that because you know, as soon as he comes here, there's going to be the people that still want a Kirk here that are going to be saying like, he should be competing and getting his shot to the starting job. Like, I just don't want that to be the narrative. I don't want McCarthy to have to be looking over his shoulder all the time. I don't want the media narrative to have to be driven like that. It would make sense 100% to get yourself a solid backup quarterback, especially if he came in knowing that that's what he was going to be. But I just think it's too much. There's too much news. There's too much history behind it. There'd be too much media coverage around it. It would take away. I think it would be more of a distraction than it would be a good thing for this team. And as I've said, people care way too much about the backup quarterback thing. I do not care. I don't care who our backup quarterback is because if McCarthy struggles, who cares? Keep him in. Let him take his lumps. If he gets hurt, we're fucked anyway because it doesn't matter who your backup's going to be. So, yeah, I understand. I mean, I just don't think this whole backup quarterback situation is as big of a deal as people are making it in my mind. So I say just run with it. I mean, I understand if you do want. I understand getting yourself a veteran quarterback. I'd even understand rolling Brett Rippey and drafting a guy and having those be
Well,
your
now
two.
I definitely don't want him to be the backup because then I lose $10.
That's true. That's true. But I don't know. I just don't. This backup quarterback situation to me isn't really that big of a thing personally.
Yeah.
So
know what I'm gonna say? So someone who like, I mean, someone who's definitely was over Kirk Cousins for a while and stuff, and didn't. I was ready to trade him early.
Yep.
I didn't follow through. You were here with me during that whole process. I would take Kirk Cousins back as a backup if he was completely comfortable with doing it. And I know I'm with you as far as the fan base, and I know the chat right now is like automatically fuck Kirk Cousins. But there's no question in my mind Kirk Cousins would be a great mentor for JJ McCarthy, one. And number two, obviously, whether he's washed or not, it's a backup quarterback job. He'd still be better at it than most quarterbacks would be. So I wouldn't hate it. I'd be cool. I don't want to give picks or money for him or anything like that. And like your whole deal, if you were able to move from the 5th round to the 4th round and it costs you $10 million or whatever, and we have the money to do it for this year, like maybe
that would be it, because you wouldn't just take it as a one. You wouldn't be trading.
No.
Like you have to trade something to get him. You can't just have him come here for nothing. So I do think it would be that where you upgrade a draft pick. Who knows? Maybe you even get an extra late round pick this year and next year. It'd be something like that where you'd be getting more draft capital overall. Because that's the thing. Because they would basically be like, we really don't want him here anymore, and you would leverage that. Like, well, you don't want him, so why would we give anything much for him? And be well, fine, just take $10 million of his contract. We will upgrade your draft pick. Just give us something, and just take him off our hands. It would be kind of like what the Rams did with Jared Goff, not to the same level, obviously, because of what was being moved in that trade. But it would be that same type of deal where they're like, we just don't want him here anymore. What will it take for you just to take him off our hands? It'd be one of those scenarios.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even want it to be a competition. Like,
no.
Maybe they're not telling McCarthy that, but it would be the worst thing could happen is Kirk comes back and he's starting week 1 again.
Yeah.
I'd rather shoot myself in the face than fucking do that.
Jeez.
I want, if Kirk Cousins comes here, if it was Aaron Rodgers competition, go for it. If it's Kirk Cousins, it's JJ McCarthy's job week 1. And like Casey said, I wouldn't want it to be this back and forth thing unless it's just so fucking obvious that JJ McCarthy sucks or something like that, which hopefully that doesn't happen. And I don't think it's going to happen.
Right.
But if there was the scenario that JJ McCarthy sucks, I would definitely rather have Kirk Cousins back there than a handful of other backup quarterbacks in this league.
And Darren, it's a negotiating tactic. Obviously, I mean, they're saying
I wouldn't do it for $20 million.
They're saying 20. They know they'll get probably 10. Like they know a team will probably split him. Like, we'll take on 10 million of his contract, but all that type of stuff. So
yeah. Dark horse first round Rev to split in the first round. I do not want Revel. I do not want the Vikings to pick me. I do not in the first round. All right, let's get these going here. 5 names makes it to the duck race. Again, everybody, we are going to be back Thursday with another show. Hype up the draft. We are not going to be live, but we are going to be on Vocal Vikes for a little bit or at some point. So definitely tap into his show on draft day. He'll do it good over there, but let's get it going. I could see, I like what you said about Henderson, Genty, and Hampton being them 3, Steve, them 3 making it into the first round. I don't think that's going to happen, but I would not be surprised because, man, there's some running back hungry teams in this draft. I mean, the Raiders, the Broncos, the Cowboys, like those 3 teams alone, Giants. I mean, there's some hungry running back teams in this one.
The one thing I ask for running backs, don't let Genty go to the Bears. That's all I care about. Just don't let him get there. That'd make me sad.
Yeah, who was it? Someone traded? Oh yeah, the Bleacher mock draft, the Broncos traded up to get Genty, like 2 picks in front of, the Bears. And then when I went on and had to talk about it, pretty much all I talked about when the Bears made their picks, pretty much all I talked about was that I'm just glad that they didn't get Genty.
Yeah.
Keep it on going here. I'm trying to get the duck race thing going at the same time. I know the Bears want Genty so bad. They can't have him. Gary!
Be insane.
Steve, yeah, you're here. Gary's definitely here. Keep on rolling here. Too many tabs up. There we go. Next, we've got boom, boom. Jen and Steve on this one. Okay. All right, keep on rolling. 2 more. Okay. What's that, Norris? Dan, you're still in here, right? Oh yeah, you're still in here. All right, final one. Boom. Dan has won recently. And it goes to Nick
Riley.
O'Reilly. Nick's been on fire ever since I gave him that one.
Yeah. Nope.
All right. I think we got it. Nick, you're still here, right? Yeah, you no. Yeah. You're here. All right, we got the name Steve, Gary, Jen, Dan, Nick R. 45 seconds. 4. Pick 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24.
Oh no, we traded
make
back
a
to
trade
33.
back. We did in that draft. No, I think we got a unicorn, Doc. That's usually a good sign. So we got to roll with it. 3, 2, 1. Boom. You're choking more than the Vikings in the race. Still not as bad as the Lakers, though. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna try my best to stay up for that game tomorrow.
In the lead, I ain't gonna be able to stay up for the whole thing, probably. Unfortunately, because damn West Coast times.
Yeah.
All right, we got them all coming back. Jen's chilling.
Freaking wild play at 10 o'clock tomorrow.
Chill. Don't do me like that. Dr. Gary. Jen's just been chilling in the same spot.
Dr. Gary.
She hasn't moved. It is Gary. Dr. Gary. Boom. Let's go, Gary. All right, Gary. What are we thinking? I think I already sent you a Dallas Turner. I think you need a Will Reichard. I think you need a nice Will Reichard, Gary. That's what I think.
Will Riker is going to restudify himself this year. I can already tell. He's going to be just fine.
I do have a numbered Harrison Smith. We do have a numbered Harrison Smith, Gary, if you want that.
Let's do it. Which one?
The Will Reichard or the numbered Harrison Smith? Yeah, I'm dropping.
Smith. Okay, it's a good choice. It's a good choice.
All right, perfect.
Hell yeah. So Gary, make sure you send us your address and everything. Just kidding.
Yeah, make sure you send us address. I don't know how to get a hold of you.
Yeah, we don't know how to get in touch with you anymore. But anyway, so draft Thursday. As Jamie said, will be 6 p.m. Central. We'll do another live show on Thursday before the draft as we get prepped for all of it. What time is it? The draft actually starts? Like, is it 7:30 or 7?
I think it's 8 Eastern, so 7 Central.
Okay.
So we're gonna start. We'll be here on 6 Central.
Yep. So it starts at 7 o'clock. Yep.
Okay, so we'll be on here right before it starts. Then I don't know if we'll
7
do a full...
Central. So we'll be here 6 Central.
Then, yeah, we're gonna do a hype stream.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, FT.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
It's gonna be a good one
Yeah.
though, man. I'm excited.
Yeah,
A
absolutely.
few more days. Let's go.
3 more days of speculation. I don't think we're gonna see any like crazy pre-draft trades
I
happen.
don't
Those
think
are
we're
all
gonna
done
see a
already.
mock draft better than that one
Definitely
from
not.
earlier. Probably not.
Yeah, definitely not. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining. Make sure to join us on Thursday. Also, will be Bleacher Report, 6 p.m. Central on Wednesday. If you want to catch us over there doing a couple mock drafts, probably, and just talking about draft stuff, you guys want to hear that, join us there. But otherwise, we'll see you guys on Thursday.
Go Vikes.